Welcome in everybody, my name is Andrew, and this is a very special episode of the Saber Fortress. Today is, of course, as any Star Wars fan knows, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And today we're going to be looking at a couple lightsabers, first of which being this Darksaber SE edition, special edition, stunt edition, sexy edition, whatever you want to call it.
Sexy.
Just means that it's been modified a little bit from the original hilt to maybe make it a little bit easier to use. In this case, it's more of a rounded shape. It's going to be easier to spin. It's going to feel a lot better in the hand versus the shape of the Darksaber that normally is, wider and a little bit more cumbersome to use. This is an SNV4 Pro board that's in here. Very similar to the Xenopixels that we've used in the past. Still uses the NeoPixel blade, which is the best part about this saber. You don't need a special blade. You don't have to go buy a flat blade. You can use any 1-inch blade that you've had in the past, you have from other sabers, and you can just plug and play. So that's what makes it really nice. So you get the Darksaber feel without the Darksaber price. This does use an SNV4 Pro board, as I mentioned, which is very similar to Xenopixel. The only difference is going to be that it does have an app called Force Park that you can download, and you can make all the adjustments, all the alterations to the blade style, ignition effects, everything from the app. Probably you're not going to use it as much as you think, but it is useful for setting up the saber, at least for the first time, and getting kind of all your settings where you want it to be. So now that we have a closer look, you can see exactly what I'm talking about with this being a nice round hilt. It's not going to be that weird oval, elongated hilt that normally the Darksaber has, which can be just awkward in the hand. So this is going to be a lot easier to twirl and spin. Just feels more comfortable in the hand too. As we move up, we can see that it is going to have some nice windows here where the blade is going to be exposed. So that's going to be awesome for all the saber effects shining through. Even has a couple on the back here, and along with the retention screws, which is nice too, because they're almost a little hidden when they're back here. Now, I do always recommend going with black retention screws if you can when you have a black hilt. You can see the silver screw here really sticks out. So if you can't get your hands on those, as long as you're 18 and older, you can maybe go to the hardware store, go to Walmart, get Plasti Dip that's black, or get black spray paint. And that's kind of a little hack that you can do. And then this is going to use your regular 1-inch round NeoPixel blade. And again, that's the best part about this, is that you don't have to go out and buy a special blade. It doesn't have to be one of those wonky, wobbly flat blades. It can be your nice sturdy 36-inch, 32-inch, whatever you have, NeoPixel blade that you can just grab from any other saber, and you don't have to spend any additional money for that. Now to charge, simply going to unscrew the bottom half of the hilt, and on the back there, it'll expose the USB Type-C port. All right, let's go ahead and install the blade and fire this baby up. All right, looks good. Feels good in the hand, just like I said. Great if you want to do 2 hands, or if you want to do a single hand. Again, really easy because of the round hilt. What's it sound like? Great sound. I love these windows. You see what I'm talking about here. And then you know what, even with this sound font, it's really nice because the ignition button is also white. Smooth swing in full effect there. Yoda. Well, that's fitting. Let's do a Yoda. Oh, that color comes through even more than something other than white. Look at that, it's like a little face. Again, great sound, really easy to hold and control. And again, you're using the same blade that you use on all your other lightsabers, which is just awesome. All right, let's check out Grogu's. Now, like I told you, we're going to be looking at 2 lightsabers today. And the next one's going to be from our little green friend.
My little green friend.
No, not who you're thinking of. It's going to be our friend Grogu.
Grogu.
This is a Grogu-inspired lightsaber. He doesn't have one officially, so this is an inspiration of what it might look like. And you can see they really added a ton of elements from the show, from what he looks like. He has his little bassinet here, goes up into this copper brown, which kind of symbolizes his coat that he wears. Of course, he's green, and then he has actually a little face. Got his little eyes, got his ears. See a little bit more from the back. Really, really nice. I would imagine this is what it would look like. I mean, it feels great in the hand because it's so small. This is going to be a Xeno V3 board, similar to what we've looked at in the past. The only difference is going to be that this has Bluetooth, so that way you can download an app called Xeno Configuration, and you can control all the features and even the saber itself from the app. Now, I know that sounds cool, and I'll probably go over that in another video because I don't want to overwhelm, too much information on one video, but you're going to use it a handful of times. You're going to use it when you have to change blade styles, when you have to change, lighting effects, but you're going to set them up, and you're going to set them up the way you like it, and then you're probably never going to use the app again. I mean, just think about it. You're going to have the saber in one hand and your phone in the other hand, changing settings mid swinging or whatever, but no, you're not going to do that. So as cool as it is, like I said, probably going to end up using all the button functions anyway. I do have a video with all of that. I'll link that in the description so that way you can learn how to use the button setup. And here we have our close look at Grogu's saber, or Grogu's inspired saber, I should say. Again, they really did a nice job with his little bassinet thing here, leading up to his coat, his robe, his pajamas. I don't know what they are, you tell me. And then, of course, his green body and his little face, which, now that I'm kind of looking at it, looks like a toilet.
Who does number 2 work for?
That's okay. Now, on the back, it looks a little better. And you can see that this has 3 holes for retention screws, but here is a tip. This little back piece comes out, and what I did, and what I will be doing, is I got the smallest retention screw I have, the shortest, and I actually screwed it in, and I was able to screw this in behind it. So now, instead of having all these holes covered, they're all now little windows. Now, of course, I don't recommend doing that if you're going to be doing any heavy swinging. You definitely don't want to do any dueling with the saber, just because it uses a 7/8 blade and it's a lot thinner and a lot more susceptible to being damaged. So again, if you're just doing it for display or cosplay, where you're just going to be showing it off a little bit, I think that's an awesome option. And I'll show you guys that once I get the blade installed. Now, there is one thing, it's a little bit of a hassle with this, which is the charging port. So to get to the charging port, you actually have to remove the bassinet here. And there's 2 screws that you're gonna have to take off. All right, there's one. And on the opposite side here. There you go, 2. And then you just pull this right down. And I think it's on the reverse side here. Oh, no, it's on the front side. There we go. And you have the USB Type-C port right there. I mean, at this point, you can just pull out the entire chassis, pull out the battery and just use a battery charger, but it's up to you. So it's not a huge deal, but it's a little bit of a hassle that you have to kind of go through all that. And then even when you remove this sleeve right here, you can't really get to that, so you have to pull it out. All right, so I did exactly what I said. I took this little screw out here and put in the shortest retention screw I had, and then covered it back up. So now I got 3 free little windows right here. it's just a little something extra. It's, you know, nothing crazy, but you see his eyes back there. And this little thing, Jesus, this has amazing sound. You see, as long as I'm not doing anything too crazy, nothing's gonna happen to the blade. But it's super loud. Wow. I mean, I'm holding it away, and it's louder than the Darksaber was when I had it close to me. Let's compare the two, shall we? Man, I mean, it's pretty fitting, you know, because this is kind of like a father and son, you know, right here. So to have the two sabers together, you know, finally, is really cool. Now, if you enjoyed these sabers and you think you might want one of your own, I will have links in the description of a couple of sites where you can get these. Also have a discount code, so you help out the channel when you do that. Plus, you get a discount off saber you're getting. So why not? Win-win for everybody. And please, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, put on your notifications. I do my best to upload as frequently as I can. I am a family man.
It's Family Guy.
I do have a full-time job, so if you don't see me for a couple of weeks, don't get too worried. It just means I'm a little busy, but I won't forget about you guys as long as you don't forget about me.
Don't you forget about me.
All right, so may the force be with you, and may the algorithm be with me.